WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys, and welcome to the third of 4 different videos to the Samurai collection from Signatory Vintage and Kirsch Import here in Germany. I've tasted the Kregarach 2009, did not prefer it, did not like it. I tasted the Glentocha 2009, wasn't really my friend. Today I'm going to talk about an Auchentoshan 2007 with 54.7%, and somehow I think this, even though I'm not a peathead, the Koilo is going to be the one that I like the most from this series. Wouldn't that be a shame? All right, so what are we talking here about? We're talking here about Whiskybase number WB187158. This is a vintage. That means it was distilled on the 31st of October 2007. Could have done something with Halloween. It was bottled on the 15th of October, almost the 13 years. It's only 12 years of 2020. Sherry Butt finish and cask number 1. Depends on what country you're in. Germany, this is 1. In America, this is 1. And 704 barrel bottles from this barrel. Now 704, 700 times 0.7, that's the size of our bottles over here, means 490 liters from a 500 liter butt. I do not think it was in that sherry butt very, very long. And now take a look at that color here. This is a black t-shirt that I have on, and it's almost as black as dark as my t-shirt here. All right, so what am I going to compare it to? I'm going to compare it to something from the Viking series from Signatory Vintage and Kirsch Import. This is a 2008 Poltny, 56.2% bottling. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about something really quickly about the German market. I'm sure people all over the world can sympathize with me here. This went for 129 euros originally. Now it's on sale at Whiskybase secondary market by private people for about 180, 190 euros. But there are also some of these online stores that have it here for 220, for 250. It's not the people that are gorging the customers with inflated prices, which happens a lot over here in Germany as well. Also, the companies are doing it. Now, if you're an online retailer, I can understand. Over here in Germany, we have about a 30% margin for our whiskey. So if you buy this for 100 euros and you can sell it for 130, you have a 30% profit margin, not bad. But of course, you can sell the same bottle for 250. Why not? Well, because it's, for me as a consumer, it just doesn't feel right. So instead of the 130, if you go for 150, I'm going to go, well, yeah, it's in high demand, no problem. All right, so you put 10%, 15%, maybe even 20% on top of that. I'm going to play along and say, great. If you double the price, 200%, 300%, 800%, I'm going to say, screw you, I'm not going to buy this ever. Now, the only problem that we have with these online retailers that are asking prices of 220, 250, and so on. There are people out there, someplace in this world, maybe someplace actually only in Europe, that are willing to pay that price for this bottle because it's a collector's item, because it has fancy artwork, because. All right, now take a look at this picture. We have another female. So you do have a sword here, and the sword somehow goes into her hat. Well, okay. Yeah. So what am I kind of sighing about? I'm sighing about a Scotch whiskey in Germany using Japanese artwork to sell their whiskey. Now here we have a Scottish whiskey with a German importer using European Vikings to sell their whiskey. Highland Park's been doing it for years now. Why not? But I really have a little bit of a doesn't feel right. My gut feeling says this is off. Selling Scotch whiskey with a Japanese themed pictures that have nothing to do with the whiskey itself. My personal opinion. All right, good. On the nose, this is the Auchentoshan. I swear I get Auchentoshan on that nose. I poured before the video a 12, Auchentoshan 12. All right. Wow. Beam Suntory is not doing the best possible job with Auchentoshan that they could. My personal opinion. I used to, at the beginning of my whiskey journey, let's call it that, the journey, I loved three whiskeys at the very beginning. Glendronach 12, Auchentoshan Triple Wood, and a Balvenie 12 Double Wood. Kind of notice a theme there with the sherry maturation. I did. And I do not like the 12 from Balvenie anymore, the double wood. It's just too sour. I think it's changed, or either that I have changed. I have compared old, 5-year-old triple wood from Auchentoshan with triple wood that's out there today. It's changed. There's a lot more of a plasticine moment in there. It's like Play-Doh. It's plastic. It's just not good. And also the Glendronach is the only one I still like, but now Brown Forman are changing. Chill filtration, and who knows what else is going to go on there. And the prices going to skyrocket in the next couple of months or years or whatever, after they change the design and change the formula and change everything else around it. So I basically have lost all those whiskeys at the beginning that I used to love. So Auchentoshan and I, if we had to describe our relationship, it would be actually not complicated, but actually in shambles. So there's only been one really great Auchentoshan I've had in the last couple of years. The Virgin Oak wasn't bad. It was a SMWS on a whiskey tasting from Auchentoshan. I think it was 13 years old. Maybe it was 11. Single cask bourbon matured. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. You're making beautiful stuff. Just put it in better casks, please. Pretty, please. Pretty, 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 please. All right, good. Boltney, Auchentoshan. On the nose. The first thing that surprises me, all right, this pops. This is subtle. There's a little bit of a cigar tobacco moment in here, which is good. That sherry is not bad. I mean, look at that color. Yeah, all right. So, I have a little bit of a wood, a little bit of a brown sugar, a little bit of a ginger moment here. I mean, come on, it's cask strength, it's 54.7%, and I'm doing this. Um, the alcohol is well integrated into this. That's not bad. But I do get a tiny little bit of like a sweet wood moment here. All my descriptions are good, and yet the whiskey in the glass here in this moment, I'd give it a C minus. There's nothing really that pulls me in. All right. So the Poltny, there's more of a brown sugar, more of a sweetness, more of it's not raisiny, but more of a grape type of prune type of berry moment. Here I hardly get any berries at all, which is kind of weird because it is a sherry cask, sherry butt finish. All right, cheers. Then it does a nosedive. There's bitterness, there's wood, there's tannins, there's a little bit of a astringency, and there's a sourness, which I dislike. Old, overused distillery wood, barrels that have been used 3-4 times, I think, at least. Put them all together, you put them into this sherry butt, and you go, hey, finish it, and we have something good. It's a finish. So what they did is they took barrels that were there before, maybe 3, maybe 7, who knows, and the rest they just kind of put it into that sherry butt. An American single barrel is 200 liters. After about, let's say 11 years, you have maybe about 70% still in there. And then you just go, okay, I have about 140 liters, 140 liters, 140 liters, 140 liters. Okay, I have 400 some liters, and maybe I have something left over that I don't know what to do with. Let's put that in there as well, pour that in there, and then ta-da, finish, and it's good. It's not. in this case. It can be excellent. It can be fantastic. It can be wonderful. But in this case, this just doesn't do it. This is a D whiskey for me. Now, what I really, really don't understand is the guys and girls here at Whiskybase, they're giving this outstanding scores. 93, 92, 90, 90, 88, 85. I mean, there's only 7 people that have scored this. This is a 78 for me if I were to go like that. I mean, ugh. And it's definitely not worth that price. I paid 129 euros for it. Nope. Would I do it again? Absolutely not. Why did I buy this series? I bought this series, one, because I was able to. I was one of the first ones that signed up here for the bottles at my wholesaler, Kirsch Import directly, and so I was able to get the 4 bottles. And I wanted to help the community, my super fans that support me via Patreon, as well as via membership here on YouTube. That they can have the chance to try them themselves. And so that's why I did that. I did not do it for my own personal pleasure. I did not do it for the clicks that I might get from these videos. I did it just to help the people that wanted to try these whiskeys themselves, because we have a lot of people in the whiskey community that are affected with FOMO, the fear of missing out. And they had the fear of missing out with the Viking series. They had the fear of missing out in the Samurai series. And since we did not have or do not have very many whiskey fairs at the moment where we can try things like this, one of the best possibilities is through samples. And as I do offer the samples, hey, at least in German-speaking world here, at least in Germany, it's the way it is. Even on the nose, I get a lot more of a sour grape moment. It's a sea with water. That's not complex. There's not much complexity. And you saw that old wood moment towards the end. If they had bottled it at 46, 48%, I would have went, well, okay, good. But then I would have been complaining that it's not a cask strength that it should be. And still, it's like, yeah. And with cask strength, it's, yeah, not my juice. Okay, the Pulteney, just as a comparison, cleanse my palate. I'm fairly sure now that the Koile is going to be my favorite bottle of the 4, and I just don't understand the world of whiskey at the moment. More of a salty, lighter, sherry berry moment. There's a lot of wood going on there. Nice wood, actually. A tiny little bit of like almost like a chocolate moment from the almost like the feel of a little bit of European wood in here. Touch of vanilla. This is actually a C to C plus. This is a D. So sorry. WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American. First question: how would you describe your relationship with Auchentoshan's? I called mine in shambles. Would you describe your relationship with Auchentoshan? Are you in love? Is it complicated? Are you divorced? Are you separated? Are you friends? What are you? And then maybe you can also say what is your favorite Auchentoshan bottling you've ever had. Auchentoshan, please change something and make your whiskey a tad bit better, at least more towards my liking. Thank you. WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Share, like, subscribe, tell others, and be so kind and put in a good word with one of your whiskey buddies and say, hey, watch this guy over here in Germany. He's tasting stuff I'll never be able to taste, but still it's kind of interesting. Bye-bye.